Good morning, happy bees. Today we're going to make this fondant digger cake topper together. And as usual, you can find links in the description below for everything that you need to make this at home. So let's get started. So we're going to start out by making the basic structure of the digger, and we're going to do this using fondant. So I had a block of fondant there and I cut off the bottom section of it. That'll make the bottom part of your digger. Then we're going to put a smaller square on top of that, and then we're going to put another rounded piece of fondant on top of that. Then you're going to roll out another thick piece of fondant and place it over the top part of your digger. Trim off the excess. And then take your rolling pin and smooth out those edges. Now you could probably do without this, but I inserted a barbecue skewer inside mine because it was being posted, so it needed extra support. But if you want it to be fully edible, it'll be fine just sitting together on your cake like this. And that's our basic structure for a digger. You could also use this tutorial to create a tractor as well. I have to say though, when this was all put together, my little 4-year-old came in and said, "Oh Mom, you're making a toilet cake." Can you see it? Let me know if you can see it. I think it really does look like a toilet. So let's get this looking more like a digger. Now you're going to lightly brush your structure with some water and roll out some yellow fondant a couple of millimeters thick. You want this to be good and thick so that it doesn't tear when you're placing it on top of your structure. Although if it does tear in certain places, don't panic too much because we're going to be putting windows and covering this digger up quite a bit. Now at this point you can choose to leave this for a few hours to harden. I decided just to go on ahead and create the whole thing all in one go. Speaking of which, we're going to move on now and create some big wheels for our digger. So you're going to roll out some black fondant about 1.5 centimeters thick. You can add some Tylose powder to this as well if you wish. You're going to take 2 cookie cutters, a larger one and a smaller one. And you're going to cut out 2 large circles and 2 small circles. With the larger circle, you're going to use your rolling pin to create an indentation. And do the same with your smaller circle, only this time use a ball tool to create that indentation. So once you've got your 4 wheels, roll some yellow fondant into a small sausage. Then you're going to cut it into 4, and you're going to take one of those pieces that you've cut off, roll it into a ball, squash it down with your fingers, and we're going to place that in the centre of our tires. Create some little indentations around the outline and a tiny little dot in the middle. Now you're going to roll out a piece of black fondant and cut out some strips. Use some water to stick these strips to the outside of your wheel. Complete this process with all 4 of your tires and leave them to the side to dry. So now we're on to the fun bit, the main body of the digger. So we're going to create some windows around the sides of the digger by cutting out a rectangle of baby blue fondant. You're going to place that on the front of your digger and then trim it into shape. You're going to do this on the front, the 2 sides and the back of your digger. And now that the wheels have dried a little bit, we're going to make some black paste. So you're just going to use some black fondant, Mix some water in with it and use that to stick the wheels on the side of your digger. Neaten up around the outside of those windows by adding a black trim of fondant. So use a smaller circle cutter to create 2 eyes for our digger. And then you're going to cut the bottom of those eyes off. Use a smaller cutter to create 2 eyeballs. And you're going to trim that off at the bottom as well. And then use 2 black circles for pupils, but we're not going to use the pupils just yet, just leave them to the side for a minute. Now we're going to use some of that ocean blue dust, just dust around the outside of the eye. And use that navy food gel to create the trim around the outside. Now you're going to use a tiny bit of water to stick those onto your digger and place your black pieces on the inside. Don't forget to create some catch lights using some white edible paint and a dotting tool. I thought our digger would look cute with a little nose, so I've rolled out a cylinder piece of black fondant. And I've also given him a little orange light on top. Use a circle cutter to create lights for your digger and a snake piece of black fondant to create a smile. Now all our little digger needs is a bucket to be able to dig with. So you're going to roll out a thick piece of black fondant and cut it into a rectangle shape. Just place a line down the middle there with your knife, and then you're going to fold that top piece up. Measure a square piece of fondant up against your bucket and trim the size. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this tutorial, show me some happy bee love and pollinate that subscribe button. Until next week, I'm Amanda and this is Happy Bee Cakes. And remember, keep creating, because when you create, it not only brings you joy but can brighten someone else's day. See you in the next one. Bye guys!